Benny's adventure team, assemble! Or not.
Hello?
Let's go find some treasure.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, ow! Where did that come from?
Okay.
Adventure time!
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may
That took long at this stage. Let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out before making at this time cowl up. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuff afterward. And there you have it.
Does the defendant's side have any objection?
Key to refuting Lady Farina is According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. Linney went to the room that... Linney did not take part...
Attention! When the countdown started, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in which the crime scene had already developed by the... Finally, he reached the surface. Paimon did it! Paimon...
In other words, you believe...
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Carol hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linney only needed to kidnap the young girl to...
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And... Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give... Of course I do. If he had been in the... You're saying that he wasn't?
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? That's right!
you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person and an The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
That can't be right.
Oh, is that... What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be... No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So... The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... Linny was not in the tunnel at that... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have come from a... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. No one entered or left the opera house through its Halsey's clothing was in... No one entered or left the... Halsey's clothing was in the... The deceased's name is Cowell. It would have been tough for both people to fit...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble?
I see.
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from—
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear.
Excuse my
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lynn
Hold
was
it.
not in the tunnel at that moment. The sound we heard may have come from... The deceased's name is Cowell. It would have been tough for both people to fit into... The vase was not broken by chance.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together! Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing grab. If there's a similar method...
Just how could a person ever be transformed into water? Must we really? Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and—
Even so, I trust the travelers. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense.
Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions, and even so, I trust the travelers. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions, and even so, I trust the travelers. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense.
Alright, I'm back.
Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case,
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end...
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable
Hello?
request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional guards...
We are still examining the items, but we have already discovered several test tubes of fluid with the notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial...
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Huh, interesting.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is...
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell... Just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partner?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is still. Let us assume that these clues are indeed guards. Please continue examining the items, Mr. Linney. It appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence.
of course, if we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right!
I love this. This is so cool.
That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that. Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she... The water from the primordial sea... I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box. The rope that strung the water tank up. Now it seems like the hook rope was not... The rope that strung the water tank up with... The deceased's name is Cowell. The water from the primordial... Lynette was in the magic box on stage. I remember there was something... Now it seems like the hook rope was... Lynette was in the magic box. The deceased's name is Cowell. The rope that strung the... Now it seems like the hook rope... It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, when the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, afterward, Cowell would but he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel and wound up being fatally hit by the same water water tank he meant to use to cover his...
Huh. That actually links together a lot of the more...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention his notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me. I shall now invite him on stage.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of
Hello,
the other people
everyone.
involved, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea.
What?
That can't be. Does this not, my dear citizens? Linny did not need to take part in the having made modifications to the props beforehand. His but upon his return, ultimately, he knocked Cowell out. Now, as much. Am I right?
We've used up all the evidence we collected.
Is this the end?
Oh no! Seems using the water as...
I think we've all seen. I believe this is indeed. Now then, my good.
Excuse me, everyone.
Miss, I must ask you not to...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in... What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all... But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth? And wouldn't such a trick be the... Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show...
I understand.
Huh.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew...
That'll teach you to...
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
But...
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but that's how I make a living. I steal stuff, but I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago.
Hey! No wonder you look familiar. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it.
Oh!
But then the number selector chose me.
Huh!
He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can... So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on... I wasn't going to take that lying down. So I knocked him out and stuffed him into the... There was nowhere to run from there, though. So I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the... The strange sound... The flower vase... Lillian was a...
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian...
No, you're not.
Her panic only intensified after she entered the... Hearing the commotion, Cowl leapt into the... He did not know that Lillian was mistakenly believing that the water from... The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowl out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes.
Paimon makes it very dramatic. Hello.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of...
At this point, all the events that happened in the...
Ah, so that's... Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina. Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may...
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really,
She's
could you
really
at least have
adorable.
left me
I
with
like
some
her.
dignity?
Wow! Look at that!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of the actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowl, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman, to cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowl thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowl entered the tunnel and met Lillian. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the Opera House, and was thus ignorant of these happenings.
Oh, hi!
From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lilianne's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Interesting.
As such, Linny and Lynette.
Great work, partners.
Oh, I forgot. Hi. You heard nothing. Hello.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think, how did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's bed?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake,
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny. I'm sure you know what you must do to let—
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself—
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The hierarchy said
that's
this was
interesting.
the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the
I love
secrets of the
this so
water have been
much.
revealed, therefore you would be wise to tell everything you know and
Yes, our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now,
Drugs!
and have made decent mora off.
And now he can no longer...
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have
I
expected
guess you
any
could
less
say,
of them.
what are they doing?
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Can I just say that the Hydro Traveler is actually pretty good?
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Gee, it was alright. I have an OP Noelle.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an
I
orphan
like
that
Lenny
was how
and
Father, who you
her.
might know as the Knave,
The
approached
Knave?
recruiting us back then too.
The knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth?
That's right.
Who's the knave again?
And back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took my sister through several streets until we found To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long,
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first, but I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks.
I can show off my
constantly-
characters, I guess. I don't know.
I waited a long time after the answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift.
Oh no.
As far as outsiders are concerned,
My favorite
this
is
a
Ye
relationship
Miko.
akin to adoption or foster care. And they have I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person. All I saw was the moonlit ground covered...
So, she'd already
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls...
Is the
hidden in
knave not
basement.
bad then?
The knave, might have seen something. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. I was hesitant to trust her, but she was also quick to destroy them.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Saritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed... All of us house members to us
Interesting.
orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic...
It's alright. I just hope you can understand that if you should need anything at all in the future...
Hmm. For real, he is.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're... Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides,
Interesting.
weird, and given that there's new evidence from the trial...
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that. Sorry.
Don't say that, Navi.
Aw, and we were having so much fun
She's an
investigating with you,
interesting
too.
character.
It was like having new waters flowing in... Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Wait, should we have a farewell meal? You know...
Huh? Do we?
Well, I just like... Anyway, it would just be a meal.
Is my audio glitchy?
Paimon, arm. If Boss Navi is treating, count Paimon in!
I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Wait, should we have a farewell meal? You know, huh? Do we? Well, I just like... Anyway, it would just be a meal. My audio... Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the...
All right, then. Let's...
Hmm. This... I have a good hydro build. This is my hydro build. The hydro thing isn't that good. I want to get another one sometime. But... here's this. Here's this. Yeah, my audio is glitchy. 1 second. I'm gonna turn it off. Is this better? Hmm. Alright. I guess we're traveling. This should be fun. This should be fun. Oh, a fishing thing. Anyway. Alright. Looks like I'm gonna have to take the railroad thingamajiggy. Alright. Is my audio glitchy again? Alright, is this better? It would help if there wasn't a delay. Alright, is this better? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Your mother, your father, your sister, your uncle, your mother. Watermelons. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, testing. Your mother, your father, your sister, your uncle. Why is Fontaine so big? And why do you have to travel by train? Finally!
Welcome to the Navia line. This
She
journey
doesn't
will be
sound very
returning
happy.
to the court of Fontaine. I am Elfan, your tour guide for this trip. But I hope you won't mind if my commentary fails to do justice to the majestic views before your eyes.
I'm going to jump off.
Anyway, the destination of this tour is the capital city of this nation, the court of Fontaine. Even the critic who once compared the city to a cage of stone
Maybe
and
if I
steel
turn my
could not
volume
deny its
down.
aesthetic appeal.
I'm gonna try something real quick. I'm gonna turn my volume all the way up.
Is Fontaine's renowned research institute.
Hi, how you doing? Hi, hi.
The employees there do crazy overtime regardless of rank or distinction. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the incident.
That did nothing. Finally.
Excellent. We've reached the terminal station. Please prepare to disembark. I don't mean to hurry you, but there are just so many attractions in the court of Fontaine worth visiting. I recommend
She
that you
doesn't
begin
sound
sightseeing
happy.
as soon as possible, so you encounter as many of these treasures as you can. As for me, I might use this opportunity for a rest. Maybe I'll go to our ways for a cup of coffee. Even tour guides need a pick-me-up now and then.
This is weird.
Welcome to the court of Fontaine.
Where is it? Is it up there? Please tell me it's not up there. What about now? It doesn't sound bad now. Are you serious? It's all the way up there? It does sound bad, but not as bad. Testing. That sounds better. Where's the dang elevator? I figured out what's wrong. My antenna is a bit damaged. I adjusted it. I think it's not glitchy. I'm gonna talk for a bit more. I'm trying to find the elevator so I can go up. It's still glitchy. I don't like this. This is too hard to navigate. Finally! Hello! I apologize for the crappy audio. Oh, a quest! How long has this been recording? Alright, I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for watching.